Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between ThundeR and Paladyn. This game taking place here on Amazonia. We have ThundeR, the WarCraft 3 semi-pro / male model spawning as the red human on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Paladyn has spawned as the yellow night elf over here on the bottom left. Night elf versus human in a 1v1 matchup on Amazonia. What is in store for us? Hopefully something entertaining, but not nearly as crazy as Blood Mage versus Warden First as Terranist Stand. That was, well, rather unorthodox and really had no idea where that game was going. AZ least favorite map or EI? I would have to I would have to say EI, because at least on Amazonia, you come across your opponent fairly often, right? And on Echo Isle version 1, and not the new version of Echo Isle, I actually enjoy quite a bit. Even though there hasn't been that many games cast on or played on it that I've seen, I could already see that it stands better. But Echo Isle, you just get into these weird games where where you're what is it called, a Mexican standoff, where the first person to move often dies or everyone dies, and it's just not a good situation whatsoever. So yeah, definitely try to avoid games on Echo Isle as of late. But then again, at the same time, even though it's unexciting games, a lot of the players end up playing that map because it is overall racially balanced, right? It's still racially balanced. There isn't a as it isn't favorable for any particular race. And most of the times, if you are going to go ahead and veto a map, you're going to veto the maps that give your opponent a favor or an advantage in the matchup. And well, you don't want that either. So Echo Isle, one of those games where maps or the games are played fairly often, but you still didn't want to see a lot of that there. All right, is the Footman going to try and get the last shot off on that Renegade Wizard right there? What is going on? Footman standing right there and, well, trying to run away here. Archer continuing to attack here. ThundeR, what is ThundeR doing? He's just letting this Footman stand around here and absorb quite a bit of damage. The Lightning Shield, and then, well, ends up finishing off the Footman easily and now going to take down that Rogue Wizard. Keeper of the Grove wanted to make sure that that Footman was not able to get the last shot off or the last hit right there. As thank you for the follow, as the Archmage now cleans up the rest of this particular creep camp. All right, Battle of the Brains right now. Keeper of the Grove going up against an Archmage, as Militia are now being called over as well. Thank you for the follow again. Archmage going to head off to the north here, purposely pulling back some of those creeps, aggroing them a different way, and now in comes a bit of damage as triple Water Elementals gonna, well, rack up that damage for at least for a little while, and now continue to finish off more of those units. All right, Mud Golem going to get taken down, but the Keeper of the Grove is nearby, trying to steal some of that experience and may be able to do exactly that. Who's going to get the experience? Archmage gets the experience oh no, but the Keeper of the Grove gets the Potion of Greater Healing. So big item steal right there from the Keeper of the Grove. But the Archmage, now sitting at level 3, will be able to drop level 2 Water Elementals, dealing that much more damage. Pressure is underway here. Who's winning out in this battle? 25 supply compared to 29. Footmen are getting taken down, but that was a denied Footman. No additional experience for that Keeper of the Grove, as the Keeper of the Grove may try and, well, just finish off many of these peasants. Another beautiful denial right there by Paladyn, as the Footmen are now making their way back down. All right, off to the north here. Forest Troll Trapper is going to get finished off here. Peasants, well, working overtime, will get this expansion up and running. Paladyn doesn't have that much mana, even with an Entangle or some Treants, may not be able to really shut this down, as the Archmage is nearby enough. Paladyn, not knowing where ThundeR was, perhaps thought that the Archmage was further away, and now that, well, Keeper of the Grove is going to be forced to use that Potion of Greater Healing much earlier, as the Treant's now going to slip on through. Beautiful slip through right there. That Peasant actually blocking the path there, but the Keeper of the Grove going to come back around, and there is once more another bit of denial. All right, apparently the denial, it does run through Amazonia, as that's all we're seeing right now. Keeper of the Grove looking to retreat back. I don't know. Was that too much of a dad joke? Kobold's going to go ahead and finish off more of these. Well, actually just stand still and turn into a pincushion. W3 champion is still big consumable like that. Yep. Coming back through, Archmage gonna go after the Ancient of Wonders and the Ancient of Lords under construction. No dad joke is a bad joke. Alright, that's the only types of jokes that I can make right now on these big... Water Elemental gets taken down there. More free experience for that Keeper of the Grove. Mass Archers coming in. Has Defend been researched? I don't know 100% for certain. A large number of footmen off to the side here. And with the number of Archers, I'm wondering what Paladin's follow-up play is. I wasn't expecting that sheer number of Archers, that heavy investment. It is going to eat into Paladin's ability to train up additional Dryads or any additional tier 2 units. As we're now looking at the Archers and a Goblin Tinker now making its way off to the north. Paladin bringing in a Goblin Tinker to help deal with buildings. And now in comes the Pocket Factory. Arcane Tower now onto the Goblin Tinker. Goblin Tinker should be, well, perhaps just retreating back here. But apparently the Goblin Tinker doesn't really care about his mana all that much. Trading an expansion for a main base Keeper of the Grove that with the Entangle down across here. Or should be able to finish off these water elementals. There's some repairs now underway for the Goblin Shredder, who is trying to fight his way out of a tough spot, getting surrounded. But now with another Entangle coming across, that is just so much damage. Finish off another footman right there, another footman right there, and wow, ThundeR could be in trouble. ThundeR down to 28 supply. Scroll of Town Portal coming back. Militia now being called over. Archmage is there as well. But that expansion really did not pay or help all that much, as Paladin now sits on a nearly level 2 Goblin Tinker and a level 3 getting to closer to level 4 Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove by himself with Entangle and one Goblin Shredder was able to hold off that entire attack inside the base. A lot of repairs underway on that Shredder, but extremely well played. How will Paladin follow this up, or how will ThundeR bounce back? Alright, Keeper of the Grove, Entangle, Archmage getting dropped down. A little bit of a dance back and forth. It looks as though Paladin wants to finish off this footman, getting off 3 quick and easy attacks here. Archmage may end up getting into a bit of trouble himself. Down to 85, down to 55. Oh, gets picked up at the last possible moment. Footman does end up getting taken down. Double Water Elementals here as the Archmage jumps back inside with a sliver of health. Goblin Tinker getting choked up on a frog, now being forced to retreat back once more as the Archers... Well, what is that Goblin Tinker even doing, sticking around in a fight like this? As, well, another Water Elemental will get taken out as well. Good morning, Burrow Rush. Thank you for tuning in. Archmage going to go ahead and hide inside the Goblin Zeppelin while using up a healing scroll. I believe... No, I don't... Did any of the footmen get any part of that healing scroll? It does not look like it. It does not look like they're getting any part of that healing scroll of regeneration at all, as the Archmage now tries to retreat back, and now in comes Paladin off on the other side here. We are looking for a tech into tier 2, but I don't see any real tech to tier 2 units. Only the Goblin Alchemist, a second hero, as signs of a tech to tier 2. Archer going to get taken down as well. One more final shot, it gets thrown out as the Goblin Shredder retreats back once more. Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 3. Goblin Tinker sitting at level 2. Going up against a solo Archmage. We are only at Tree of Ages. We do see Ancient of Lords, and we are now going into Glaive Throwers. Alright, this transition into Glaive Throwers may catch ThundeR off guard, as it has me. I'm not quite sure what these Glaive Throwers, how effective they are going to be at this point and stage in the game. We are getting a Blacksmith, we are getting up an Arcane Sanctum. Tech to tier 2 is now done, and we do see the Mountain King as that second hero. Goblin Tinker may be able to force an engagement here, and well, as he's clearing out a 5-3-3 creep camp, which should get him to level 3. Level 3 Pocket Factory will create a much stronger Clockwork Goblins. Thank you for the follow. Interesting noises coming from outside as the glaive throwers are now down. Panda now being picked up. All right, so instead of the Mountain King, gonna go ahead and transition into the Panda after seeing the glaive throwers and those goblin tinkers already. Panda now making its way off to the north here. A water elemental gonna be dropped. Breath of Fire not gonna be doing very much against those dryads, but still hitting the archers there. Clockwork goblins making their way over. Archmage trying to finish off some of those glaive throwers. Thank you for the follow as the Keeper of the Grove and the Goblin Tinker are trying to protect these mechanical units in the back. Breath of Fire finishing off the remaining archers. Still plenty of dryads here, though, as the water elemental is going to get abolished and end up puddles. Footman now going after some of these glaive throwers as well. Water elemental going to get dropped down here. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation? Yes, we are. Staff of Preservation saving a low hit point glaive thrower as the Keeper of the Grove now looking to back away. Panda also putting pressure here. Goblin Tinker does not have a Staff of Preservation of his own, and the glaive thrower may end up getting taken down as the Panda does a little bit of chase, a little bit of slow poison there. 2 more shots or 1 more shot may be all that's necessary. Nope. Breath of Fire to turn around and head back. Goblin Tinker fighting here. Well, more slow being cast. I thought I heard slow being cast. Priest now trying to heal things up as the water elementals should be getting abolished magic pretty quickly, trying to run back away. There is another abolished magic again as a dryad going to get taken down. This has been a very, very small fight on both sides. Thunder seen on 45 supply compared to Paladyn's 36. Archmage is rather small. Keeper of the Grove being forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal to try and retreat back. This has been one base play for Paladyn for quite some time, and Paladyn is even in terms of overall army size, and Paladyn does have a bit of an experience advantage with that level 3, nearly level 4 Goblin Tinker. The question is now, is Paladyn going to tech into tier 3 and try and get bears for rejuvenation, or what is his follow-up plan going to be? We are already at a blacksmith, and yeah, workshops are already underway for those mortar teams to deal with those dryads. I do see long rifles getting upgraded as well for riflemen to try and pick down these dryads, and Paladin's aggression and Paladin's style of play, as effective as it was, may end up falling a bit flat unless things break in his favor here in just a moment. Another priest getting taken down, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Having those small advantages eventually translate into bigger experience and another advantage, perhaps a level 4 Goblin Tinker with level 2 upgrades, that passive upgrade, faster attack speed, and all that. All right, more damage coming across. There goes one tower as well. Scroll of Town Portal inbound. All of those units, riflemen, are all in position. There is Breath of Fire inbound, but not a lot of damage, maybe only against the Goblin Shredder itself, as an Entangle now goes onto the Brewmaster. Brewmaster does have a potion of healing, jumps inside the Goblin Zeppelin instead, loses all of that focus fire and all of the arrows and darts that were trying to attack it momentarily. Militia now coming in from the north, and perhaps going to try and flank, adding in a little bit more damage. Rifleman going to go ahead and try and chase as we see some treants try to act as a front line against all of those militia who are diving in across all those units. Goblin Tinker gets up to level 4. Breath of Fire blows over all of those treants pretty quickly alongside the help of one Dispel magic. ThundeR continuing to fight away here as the Archmage going to turn back around. A lot of damage on both sides. ThundeR going to lose another peasant there, and Dryad going to get taken down. And still, Water Elemental still feeding the experience of Paladyn, as the Dryads still have plenty of mana to go around. Goblin Tinker and Alchemist. Goblin Tinker finally is at level 4, as I mentioned. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove gets in some more attacks here. Fighting a Priest coming back the other way. Is going to be able to finish it off. Yes, it will. Breath of Fire. Goblin Tinker is in serious trouble. Down to 70 hit points. Staff of Preservation for the save. Entangle onto ThundeR's Ogre Mauler, as that Ogre Mauler may end up getting taken down. 1 or 2 more shots. Massive heals. No denial, as we're still seeing another Dryad abolish magic onto those water elementals. Archmage is at 5. Mortar teams joining in, and that may be the extra oomph that ThundeR needed to try and fight back against this heavy Dryad army. Goblin Tinker back at home. Clarity potions being used. 40 supply over 50. 34 supply army compared to ThundeR's 37. Only a slight advantage for ThundeR, but I do believe Goblin Shredders are considered part of the army, so we'll have to keep track of where those Goblin Shredders are and how they're being used. ThundeR has plenty of lumber, hence only needing 11 workers right now, as he still has that one Goblin Shredder, which would really put the army sizes heavily in favor of Paladyn. Archmage is creeping right now alongside the Brewmaster. Brewmaster not going to get all of the necessary experience from this creep camp, actually having it split. Archmage, given the robe of Magi, now having, well, close to 500 or 600 mana as the last tower going to get taken down. In comes a big fight here. Mortar team's going to try and blast down all of these Dryads here. Are they going to be able to focus down the units? And no, they are not, as the Paladin is able to get within 0 range onto the Mortar teams pretty quickly and try to focus them down. 37 supply compared to 48. Thank you for the follow, as the Panda now sits up to level 4. Panda is going to try and do any Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. Nothing like that so far. The Drunken Brawler is still doing some big damage there, as the Goblin Tinker down to 90 hit points, still trying to retreat. Thank you for the follows again. Heavy Dryad army in before Kirby Dryads. All right, Water Elemental continuing to push its way through. Mortar teams able to deal the necessary work against those Dryads. Dryads continuing to fight back here, as a beautiful Zeppelin Micro picking up the Riflemen and then going to perhaps drop them back down. ThundeR's Micro is starting to show, and that is absolutely strong here, as Paladin, unsure of how to follow things up. The heavy concentration of Dryads and the transition into Mortar teams, that sudden burst damage was perhaps a bit too much. Paladin quickly tries to get a little bit more mana, needs to follow things up, perhaps needs to even just clear out the expansion here, so he has an opportunity to try and set up an expansion if necessary. Keeper of the Grove does have a Staff of Teleportation, and maybe using that as a one-way ticket back home, buying himself necessary time to do some sort of follow-up play. Goblin Tinker is invisible. Where is it going to run off to now? We're 16 minutes, 30 seconds into this game. Expansions still have plenty of gold. Meanwhile, the main bases only have about 6.5 minutes of mining left, so that could be it. ThundeR throwing up a couple of flares to reveal portions of the map, and sees that there is no expansion down over here. And now ThundeR has some decision making to do. All right, I think that was a flare. Is there a wisp somewhere? Yep, there you go. Flare coming to an end. Keeper of the Grove looking to back up once more. Goblin Tinker was able to walk into the base right here, set up a clockwork, the pocket factory, and then really deal a large amount of damage. He's going to try to go after the Shredder. No, he is not. Goblin Tinker down to 231 hit points. Is he just going to get Staff of Preservation to back out? No, he's just going to simply walk out of this position here, even though he's taking some damage from these guard towers. All right, Panda coming back over here. Goblin Pocket Factory actually blocking his own escape. And Paladin makes a crucial error, setting up a Pocket Factory and then blocking his own escape right there before making it way through. Paladin must absolutely be hitting himself so hard. All right, things were going so well for Paladin. ThundeR, even with the economic advantage, was barely able to hold anything off. Instead, Paladin now playing with a handicap, giving his opponent a level 4 Goblin Tinker experience death, as now ThundeR may be able to get back into this game and come back over the top. Keeper of the Grove still wandering around sideways. Entangle onto the Rifleman. Are we going to see a Dispel and a pickup? Beautifully done, as the Rifleman still not taken out whatsoever. Keeper of the Grove Micro coming back across here. Keeper of the Grove going to be forced to Scroll of Town or Staff of Teleportation back home. You can see a bunch of low hit point Dryads, but the Archmage, Rifleman, and more importantly, one Mortar team is already here, and this could spell some trouble. All right, Ancient of Wonders quickly going to get taken down. Mortar teams here. Priest are here as well, finishing off these key buildings. Absolutely important to try and remove any of that home field advantage. Chasing the Dryads, not a good idea at all, as we're looking at, well, the creeps trying to, creep camp's going to get cleared up here. Mortar team going to actually have a little bit of a problem, taking a bit of damage from the creep camps here. Instead, going to go after the Ultra of Elders. Ultra of Elders down to 500 hit points, going to drop incredibly fast, as even with the Ultra of Elders being repaired by so many, oh, actually, that's a ton of Wisps, may actually be able to stick around. All right, Breath of Fire coming across there. One more Breath of Fire, and that could be a whole bunch of dead Wisps as well. Are we going to see that? Great. Wait for the 4, 3, 2, well, 1 Breath of Fire. There it goes, finishing off the multiple Wisps once again. However, it looks as though the Goblin Tinker will end up surviving, as the Keeper of the Grove gets to level 6. Oh, ThundeR may have thrown things away trying to go after that Altar of Elders a bit too much. A lot of low hit point Dryads were able to heal back up off of, I believe, a Scroll of Healing. Goblin Tinker now sitting at level 5. Tome of Agility now picked up. Dual, a level 6, level 5 going up against a level 6, level 4. Panda not yet at level 5. And Mass Teleport versus Tranquility. All right, Goblin Tinker. If it should most likely go for cluster rockets to try and stop mass teleport as an amazing shutdown. Instead, went for Pocket Factory level 3. Gonna go ahead and drop that right there, and in comes that damage. Now the guard towers, the Clockwork Goblins, really not dealing that much damage. They're going to be popping out here in just a moment here. The Pocket Factory does have a decent amount of hit points, but will end up getting taken down. Panda now sitting at level 5 as well. Level 3, Breath of Fire. Level 2, Drunken Haze. Tranquility fighting around the other side. Dryad still gets taken out amongst the Tranquility, as the Riflemen do have incredibly strong focused fire burst damage against those Dryads if they're already low on hit points. Continuing the fight back and forth. Another Dryad getting taken down here. Goblin Tinker trying to chase after some of those other units as the Mortar team's able to focus here. And ThundeR really starting to take a big advantage as Paladyn may be forced to give the GG here. Dryads forcing the units away off on the other side here as we're looking at a Keeper of the Grove trying to retreat away. All right, 21 supply compared to 57. This game should pretty much be in the bag, short of ThundeR just throwing this game away. ThundeR taking the win here with the incredible, or the higher resource score, and able to hold on to that for quite a bit of time. Paladyn was throughout this game very much in the battle up until that point where, well, he Pocket Factory and blocked his own Goblin Tinker inside his opponent's base. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.